Dagon. I'm starting to see a pattern with devs that send me games.
And that pattern is
Lovecraft?
not a bad thing.
Come on. It's another game, but it's... yeah, won't download. Not my fault if your fucking game won't download. Alright, so the dev sent this to me and said that I'd probably find this very interesting. Considering the name of it is Dagon, I'm gonna guess that he was probably right.
Okay.
Oh, you have an options menu. And you have volume control. Holy crap.
I mean, that's a good thing.
That's a rare thing for one of these.
Yeah, the aesthetic looks kind of interesting. Like that dirty, like 1920s look.
So they look like they're working on Dagon and Tales of Herring Lake.
I don't know what story that's related to.
Let's find out. Herring Lake, were you favorite Sunday? Is it gonna be one of those games where it seems calm and then shit goes down? Or is it actually a fishing story? Now I'm kind of curious about this one.
Just a story about a man, his fishing rod, and the biggest flounder in the lake. No horror elements needed.
Are you a detective or a fisherman? This one we may have to look at when they have a demo. So you can just fish or you can do the mystery.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting that they give you the choice. It's like, oh, well, you can go solve this mystery or you can just go fish.
You can save someone from being killed or fish.
I don't know. Fishing's good as long as I have a steady supply of beer.
Yeah. Ending Lovecraft, I'm pretty much got to check out. Yeah, it seems like I've been getting more and more Lovecraft games lately from devs, which again, I'm not complaining about. I love Lovecraft.
I am writing this under an appreciable mental strain, since by tonight I shall be no more.
Little melodramatic, buddy.
Is this like directly the... Okay, so controller only lets you look around. Alright, that's good to know. And of course, no left-handed control.
Alright, so it's a point and click type of thing, or can you actually move around the room?
Penniless, and at the end of my supply of the drug which alone makes life endurable, I can bear the torture no longer, and shall cast myself from this garret window into the squalid street below.
Do a flip?
Do not
presumably?
think from my slavery to morphine that I am a weakling or a degenerate.
I mean...
When you have read these hastily scrawled pages, you may guess, though never fully realize, why it is that I must have forgetfulness or death. It was in one of the most open and least frequented parts of the broad Pacific that the packet of which I was supercargo fell a victim to the German sea raider.
Is this just gonna be a point and click?
I don't know.
Is there gameplay or what? What's going on?
The Great War was then at its very beginning, and the ocean forces of the Hun had not completely sunk to their later degradation.
It was a squid, wasn't it?
So that our vessel was made a
Goddamn
legitimate
squids.
prize, whilst we of her crew were treated with all the fairness and consideration due us as naval prisoners.
This is an interesting way to do a demo.
So liberal, indeed, was the discipline of our captors, that 5 days after we were taken, I managed to escape alone, in a small boat, with water and provisions for a good length of time.
Is there actual gameplay?
I don't know. I mean, it seems like there's just a lateral click. Like, there's not... Is there multiple things that you can click in the environment? Or is it just one thing?
Just one thing. It's odd.
Maybe it's like a tutorial thing, and you'll get to, like, a room where you have to click on multiple things to get something done.
When I finally found myself adrift and free, I had but little idea of my surroundings. Never a competent navigator, I could only guess vaguely by the sun and stars that I was somewhat south of the equator. Of the longitude, I knew nothing, and no island or coastline was in sight.
Why'd you get on the boat?
The weather kept fair,
not a
and for
smart man.
uncounted days I drifted aimlessly beneath the scorching sun, waiting either for some passing ship or to be cast on the shores of some habitable land.
Well, you know, you could just jump in and enjoy the sharks.
But neither ship nor land appeared, and I began to despair in my solitude upon the heaving vastness of unbroken blue. The change happened whilst I slept. Its details I shall never know.
Oh no, we're gonna become a fish man.
You got raped by a squid?
Why was that where you went?
Because it's Lovecraft, so something weird was going to happen with a squid.
For my slumber, though troubled and
octopus.
dream-infested, was continuous.
Okay, I guess you were right.
Ooh, okay. So now we're on a beach with a squid?
When at last I awoke, it was to discover myself half sucked into a slimy expanse of hellish black mire, which extended about me in monotonous undulations as far as I could see, and in which my boat lay grounded some distance away. Though one might well imagine that my first sensation would be of wonder at so prodigious and unexpected a transformation of scenery, I was in reality more horrified than astonished. For there was in the air and in the rotting soil a sinister quality which chilled me to the very core. The region was putrid with the carcasses of decaying fish and of other less describable things which I saw protruding from the nasty mud of the unending plain.
I mean, that one's still alive.
Yeah, he's crawling, he's trying to live.
Perhaps I should not hope to convey in mere
Maybe he can
words
cook him in his own
the
shell.
unutterable hideousness that can dwell in absolute silence and barren immensity.
Welcome to the last, or not the last one. Death Stranding 2. I have an early release copy of it. It was a real surprise to see it was being made.
There was nothing within hearing and nothing in sight save a vast reach of black slime. Yet the very completeness of the stillness and the homogeneity of the landscape oppressed me with a nauseating fear. The sun was blazing down from a sky which seemed to me almost black in its cloudless cruelty, as though reflecting the inky marsh beneath my feet.
I'm sorry, is this actually just the Dagon story? Is that what this entire game is?
I feel like it's just like it's not even like a text adventure, it's just kind of like an audiobook with pictures.
I mean, I'm not opposed. It makes our job easier, but...
It's good flounder, you don't waste that.
What about the one on the ground next to it?
Pretty sure that's poisonous, and it's also a sea parasite.
Can I walk?
You can look at your boat, apparently.
Oh, that sound effect.
As I crawled into the stranded boat, I realized that only one theory could explain my position.
I've gotten fucked really badly, or something was in that morphine.
Fever-induced hysteria from being stuck on a ship for like months.
Through some unprecedented volcanic upheaval, a portion of the ocean floor must have been thrown to the surface, exposing regions for which innumerable millions of years had lain hidden under unfathomable watery depths. So great was the extent of the new land which had risen beneath me that I could not detect the faintest noise of the surging ocean, straining my ears as I might.
I already made the Death Stranding joke.
Yeah, it is. It actually kind of does.
Nor were there any seafowl to prey upon the dead things.
Look, even seagulls know when not to mess with something. And they're stupid.
For several hours I sat thinking or brooding in the boat, which lay upon its side and afforded a slight shade as the sun moved across the heavens. As the day progressed, the ground lost some of its stickiness and seemed likely to dry sufficiently for traveling purposes in a short time.
That's a really shiny ground. Look at that. It's got glitter in it.
Stripper Island.
That would make the best twist ever.
That night I slept but little, and the next day I made for myself a pack containing food and water, preparatory to an overland journey in search of the vanished sea and possible rescue.
It wasn't long before I found a structure full of neon signs and had scantily clad women inside on poles.
We really need this to become a game.
A
On the third morning,
Lovecraft
I
strip,
found the
please.
soil dry
God,
enough
yes.
to walk upon with ease.
I mean, this is
It
an
doesn't look very
interesting-
dry.
No, it doesn't. Don't step
It's
on
like-
the squid. That's gonna be nasty.
Ew. It probably smells like god awful death now. It's been out there for like 2 days.
Oh, that entire area. No. Oh no, you're gonna take your nose off yourself probably to get away from it.
The odor of the fish was maddening, but I was too much concerned with graver things to mind so slight an evil, and set out boldly for an unknown goal.
As someone who lives in a place with the ocean, it's not small when you have that kind of stuff. When red tide comes in, that smell is beyond horrific. You can smell it all the way inland.
Nasty.
Oh god, yeah. It's insane. So, the response of, it's only a little bit of dead fish smell. Trust me, it's not a little. What food, what water? That's it for your demo?
That's literally what it was? Okay. I mean, at least it wasn't too long, but I mean, that would have been nice to have, like, options, like be able to explore stuff in your environment, or maybe have, like, a puzzle aspect or something to it.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna actually look here. Let's see. It's a narrative experience. It is just a walking. It's not even a walking simulator. I don't know what to call this. Emergency.
It's an audio book with moving pictures.
It's not even a visual novel. These people don't understand VR support. How?
I mean, at least they are looking for feedback, and the only thing I can say with feedback is if you're going to do, like, what I presume you're trying to do is kind of like a text adventure or something like that, is like add in other shit. Don't just be like, all right, I click on this, I hear the audio, and we progress the story. Like, it shouldn't be a system where that's all you do, because then, like, okay, you get to read the story and you get to see the stuff, but I mean, it's literally just like a slideshow with an audio layover. Like that's the equivalency of what you have. You need to add some flair to that.
It's interesting. I can't say it's not, but like one of the DLC is literally an audiobook. So maybe you're just making an audiobook, which isn't exactly a bad thing. But visual novels tend to have more to them, as weird as that sounds, because I've done way too many, visual novels. I mean, you can have kinetic ones where you have a set path, but at the same time, I don't know. If it's going to be something that's free or like $1 or something, I say try it.
Yeah, no, the price tag should definitely reflect on what it is. But if it is that cheap, yeah, it's probably an interesting thing to pick up, especially if you've never read the story.
The voice actor is pretty good. Can't deny that.
Yeah, that's true. The voice acting, and I do like the visuals of it, even though you can't really move around.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I'd really like to get to explore more of the area, because I kind of like that. Like, the way they were doing the setting is really nice, and I do like the modeling they used. But we'll see. It's still a work in progress, so I'll send that to them and see what they say. Yep, kinetic novel is an actual term. It's basically a visual novel where you don't get choices. Like, it's just a straight path. That's what they're called. Trust me, I have a lot of people that I had to learn it because a lot of people were saying, oh, this is a kinetic novel. That's a kinetic visual novel. So we're going to look at another demo that was just sent to me called Hell's Architect. So give me one
That sounds
second.
interesting.
I remember, believe it or not, seeing the trailer for this on a YouTube ad and thinking it looked hilarious.